Bucci Loco.
Hello. Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Oh, it's all right. Don't worry. Whatever you have to say is more important. That's fine.
We got a celebrity in the building.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
True or false? Garrett Cole looks like Taylor Miller's illegitimate father. Think about it. Think about the hair. Think about the hair.
I gotta say true.
Yo, hella true. OD true.
No, I'm not gonna see it.
Yo, that's my son Bucci Loco. We call him BLM Wucci. You know what I'm saying? That's his new name. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God.
With that, we welcome you back to Outlandish Claims, everyone. That is all going in the show. That is all the opening. I'm just letting you know now. Every second of that is how we're starting the show. We're going right into final thoughts. Millz wanted to be here because he had something special to share with us. So, Millz, would you like to go first or last?
I'd like to go last.
You'd like to go last? That's fine. So we'll start with Demetrius.
Final thoughts from last week go as such. All right. I, as an avid ESPYs fan, have been screaming about this for the past week and a half. Year in and year out, the ESPYs have just robbed me of everything I've wanted and needed. And if they do it this year, I'm going to be upset. Why, you ask? Two very simple words. Odyssey Alexander, JMU pitcher, made one of the plays of the year and one of the greatest plays to play I've ever seen in my life. I tell you, I'm saying it right now. Matter of fact, this is an outlandish claim right here. That play will be nominated for best play at the ESPYs come July and still lose. My problem is that the caliber of performance that's voted come June, July for the ESPYs. Let me take you back to 2018 when Caitlin Ohashi won best play at the ESPYs. I don't know how she did a perfect 10 on the floor routine. I don't know how that wins best play over not only the Miami Miracle, Derrick Henry's 99-yard run against the Jaguars where he eviscerated several players. And, I don't know, Kawhi Leonard's shot against the Sixers in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. I wish Kenyon Drake, Miami Dolphins running back, could do to Caitlin Ohashi what Kanye West did to Taylor Swift. Caitlin, I'm happy for you. But Kawhi Leonard had one of the greatest shots of all time. That man won a championship. One play that got snubbed, the absolute snubbery from that year. You know, little guy we know, Wayne Rooney. I'm sure Andrew knows who he is. Wayne Rooney, one of the great footballing legends while he was playing in the MLS for DC United. In a game-winning situation in his late 30s, ran halfway down the pitch to make a game-saving tackle in an open net, to stop an open net goal in soccer, mind you. Regains the ball, runs about halfway, about to midfield, lays a beautiful crossing pass into the box for the game-winning goal. And this is Wayne Rooney in his late 30s. Yeah, playing in the MLS, which is basically a glorified retirement home. But regardless, the fact that this man is in his late 30s, giving it his all. So in short, I better see Odyssey Alexander make the finals for best play this year, or I will be upset. I will send ESPN several angry tweets.
And now we'll go to Mr. Gio.
The Pirates are a joke. And I don't mean that in the sense of, like, they're a really bad franchise, because we know they're a really bad franchise. I mean, they're currently, as of this recording, 23-40, but they apparently forgot how to round the bases when hitting a home run. And I'm looking at you, Key Brian Hayes. Then, before that, they forgot how to actually field a ground ball to get somebody out when Javi Baez ran back to home plate and Contreras scored from third, and then Javi Baez went to second because nobody was covering first base, looking at you, Will Craig. And then the fact they even exist as the Pirates in general, it's just hilarious. It's helping me as a Yankees fan cope with this terrible team right now because at least I know that, Steinbrenner's have a history of trying to build a franchise that wins, whereas Pittsburgh has a franchise of delivering franchise players to other teams. See Garrett Cole, Tyler Glass now, Austin Meadows, for example. The list goes on. I can almost assure you that in a few years, we're going to name somebody else because let me go back to the Chris Archer trade. Now, we all know that the Rays won this trade because, one, Chris Archer was terrible in Pittsburgh, and two, Chris Archer went back to Tampa a couple of years later. But one of the people that Tampa got in return is one of the best minor league pitchers in baseball right now in Shane Baz. You might know Shane Baz because he was drafted the 12th overall pick in the 2017 draft. He started 7 games so far, 32 innings, 2-4 record, but that doesn't take away from the fact he's got a 2.4 ERA. So not only did Tampa fleece them by, giving up Chris Archer, they got him back, and then, they might have gotten another ace in the rotation that they already don't need. So I'm not going to keep it too long because, I'm not really that much of a ranter this week, but I just wanted to laugh at Pittsburgh, and I wanted you all to know that it's not just Key Brian Hayes. It's not just Will Craig. It's not, just the fact that they're an incompetent franchise. They're just the Pittsburgh Pirates, and they will continue to be a joke until something changes in management.
Well, they had, to just close out that point, they had decided their fate once they, disgracefully and unjustifiably had traded Andrew McCutchen years ago. So the way that they treated Andrew McCutchen, this is karma for that. I have no sympathy for the Pirates. But anyway, I'm going to take it out to the NL West, and I'm going to talk about a specific player who is supposed to be a superstar, who I think we all thought was going to be the second part of a dynamic duo, really this side of Derek Jeter and A-Rod in terms of that third baseman shortstop sort of 1-2 punch. We talk about the San Diego Padres and the fact that they are 37-29 and ultimately 4 games out of the division behind the Dodgers and obviously the Giants, as you guys had touched on earlier in the show. But we don't talk about one of the main reasons that is, and that is a man by the name of Manny Machado, okay? Manny Machado, ladies and gentlemen, on the season is batting .237, only 28 runs driven in, 8 home runs, 37 RBIs, 6 stolen bases. Is that the type of production that we expect from a man that's making over $30 million a year, north of 300?
Yes.
Yeah. No, listen. I know that some of the baseball.
Me and Millz are the only ones saying yes because we know what to expect with the money.
I know. Listen, I know some of the baseball purists, such as yourselves. Okay, the baseball extraordinaires like my friend Mr. Bougie Loco T. Millz would expect that. But for anybody who doesn't pay attention to the game of baseball in such an in-depth way and is sort of like a casual fan, you would think that Manny Machado, who isn't all that old, okay, would be doing better than .237, 8-27 on the season. I mean, it was just a couple of seasons ago that we saw this guy 30 and 80 routinely, easily. So I'm looking at the San Diego Padres, and I'm more specifically looking at Manny Machado. You gotta arrive, brother, because as we know, I've got the San Diego Padres making it all the way to the NLCS and losing to the Braves, which doesn't seem to be a good pick right now. We're going to talk about that in another episode. But anyway, they're not going to be able to do that without ultimately Manny Machado performing like the way he knows how to perform. Get it together.
Okay, my recaps will be short and sweet. Number 1, thank God Christian Eriksen is alive. That was really, really scary. Thank God he's alive. Number 2, Carey Price going for the Conn Smythe, even if he loses against Vegas. Let me just tell you right now, that dude is the playoff MVP, regardless of who wins the Stanley Cup. Number 3, speaking of playoff MVPs and MVP winners, someone want to recount the NBA ballots? Because I don't know where Nikola Jokic got off winning that when he has yet to basically put his foot on the court this series. And finally, I mean, they're down 0-3. So
Okay. I see what you're saying. I thought, okay. Yeah. Right.
I knew
I
what he
wasn't.
meant.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying he was actually not playing. I was saying he's not playing.
I'm like, yo,
You're not that ill-informed with the NBA. You know enough to know he's trying to carry that team on his back.
You gonna have to put that out.
No, I was not actually that dumb. Thank God for that. And then for the MLB, look, I'm gonna say straight up, as everybody here knows, the only time I ever said the Eagles would win the Super Bowl was after Carson Wentz got hurt. I don't pick my teams to win playoffs, except for Tampa Bay because they were just that good and they were just that pissed off. When the Lightning won the Stanley Cup, I knew they were going to win because they were pissed and they were just that good. But I don't pick the Eagles. I didn't really pick the Penguins even when I knew they would repeat. I picked the Capitals a year early. Never picked the Eagles. Got lucky when I picked the Nationals. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know how I got that one. That was such a stab in the dark. That was ridiculous. But that was the one time I picked a team of mine at the outset of a season, aside from the Tampa pick. I don't believe in my teams, especially when they trade one of their best players before the season starts for pennies on the dollar. So, to take the tack of one Meech, I would like to apologize to my team, the Tampa Bay Rays. For some reason, I doubted that you made a good move by trading Blake Snell. I forgot the history of Chris Archer and David Price and James Shields and Matt Garza and Scott Kazmir and so on and so forth, and Kyle Farnsworth and Grant Balfour and Fernando Rodney and
you giving names.
Rafael Soriano. I could go on and look. I owe Tampa an apology. I should have known by now that when your pitchers leave, there's so much evidence that they just suck. And every time you get a pitcher, they get better. Rich Hill doesn't have blister issues this year yet, somehow magically. I don't know what the hell happened, but good for him. Michael Wacha, you're keeping him pitching short, and he's looking better and better. Yarbrough finally is figuring out how to pitch. Thank God I got him. And, of course, there's Tyler Glass now, and you regained Chris Archer, who's granted he's injured, but before he got injured, he was shutting down the Yankees again, which he hadn't done since he got traded to Pittsburgh. So formally, Tampa, I'm sorry I doubted you. Millz.
I'm absolutely shocked that, number one, Adam apologized. And and number two,
oh my God, that is the title of the episode. I am just absolutely shocked that Adam apologized.
And number two, it just kills our Blake Snell joke, Gio. It just kills it.
Blake Snell.
Yeah, exactly. So my final thoughts for the week. I thought about two different ways I could go about this. I thought I could either do a complete rant or write an open letter to Robert Manfred himself. And instead, I decided I'm going to do the rant because I am absolutely sick and tired of Major League Baseball's front office acting as if they are completely blind to the issues going on in Major League Baseball regarding cheating, number one. And number two, how their players actually feel about the situations that are going on the field. Let's start off with the number one issue over the last 2 weeks. And Adam, I believe 2 weeks ago when we recorded, I said this is going to be a problem very soon. And here we are, just 2 weeks later. Rob Manfred, you suck. Straight up. I backed you for about 2 years there. I thought you were doing a really good job. You had a good hold on things. The last 3 years now has been a show. From the circus act on second base in extra innings to stupid 7-inning doubleheaders, which nobody wants to see because you're never going to get to a full bullpen. That makes no sense. It's not baseball. It's not. That's not the way the game's been played for the last 120 years, and it's not the way real fans like all four of us who have grown up watching and playing the game have actually learned how to play the game. And these players don't like it either, and you can tell. Because this union argument this winter is going to be ugly. There will be some form of delay to next season, just like there was last year, because of your incompetency. Let's start off with this as well. This past week, Adam mentioned my illegitimate father of Garrett Cole. Became the topic of conversation because you failed to address a certain issue over the last 2 years, which was pitchers docking baseballs. And not just you. It was Bug Selig's issue. It was commissioners before then. It's been going on for 100 years plus of pitchers docking baseballs. We go from, as Mike mentioned earlier this week, Gaylord Perry and others, countless others, spinning on the ball, using sticky stuff outside the lines of what's acceptable, this sunscreen and rosin mixture, the bullfrog stuff.
Sandpaper.
What?
Sandpaper with Negro.
Sandpaper, yep. You got the nail file, right? So there are countless number of times where Major League Baseball has turned a blind eye to this, said it's okay. And you had stupid hitters, plain and simple, they're stupid, who say, we want the pitchers to have better grip. You enabled this to happen. You have enabled this discussion to keep going on and this to become a problem now. Where spin rate, like Trevor Bauer warned us about 3 years ago, was going to be the main topic of conversation and that people were looking for concoctions to make this better. We have seen the lowest batting average since 1968. That's not how the game is supposed to go. Your hitters are supposed to get better as your league grows and improves and expands. And what has happened this year? The lowest batting average in 54 years. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. On an offensive level, you're never going to grow the game that way. Number 2, now all of a sudden you want to crack down on pitchers and the Astros get off scot-free? It's bullshit. This is absolute bullshit because of your shortcomings and you don't know how to run a league. You don't know how to handle it. Shame on any pitchers who are taking advantage of this system. Also, you deserve to be suspended. That's first. You deserve it. I don't care who you are. Doesn't matter. I'm not talking lifetime bans like steroids was. Something small, and then gradually grow up there. Because the league has overlooked it for so long. This league needs to learn from its mistakes now. You can't crack down heavy, because there are going to be numerous amounts of people that you're going to catch. Trying to hide it, or just blatantly obvious like Michael Pineda 3-4 years ago. It's embarrassing. So Rob Manfred, I'm officially calling for your job.
Hire this man. Hire him. Let's find him an agent, a headhunter, something. Let's get him in Rob Manfred's seat. On a side note, because you mentioned nail files, I do want to get a prop for this.
Man, I really can't get over the fact to look at Garrett Cole.
So the nail file story, and this is why I wanted to get a prop. I wanted to give a story here. Now, you see me fiddling with a knife here. And there's a reason. This knife is actually Cutco because I worked for Cutco in a former life. And let's just say I want to use this to slit my own throat sometimes when I think about that. But that's beside the point. Point is, I sold this to, I was selling this to a family member and my cousin, basically. My cousin, well, my mom's cousin, technically. My cousin was his son. And this idiot, who will remain nameless, but he is an idiot, and he knows it. If he's watching this, which he probably isn't, but if he is, he knows he's an idiot. Took one of these knives, which are billed as the sharpest knives on the market, and they are. They are. There are tests for this. Sadly, it's true. And he decides, because he's playing in a wiffle ball game, that he's going to start cutting the wiffle ball, trying to make it more aerodynamic. So I'm trying to do my sales pitch crap or whatever. I can't hear you, Millz. And I don't know why. Your sound just didn't work.
I can already say I already know where this is going, but go on.
So he starts cutting it, and and I'm doing my sales pitch, so I don't know what the hell's happening. Then all of a sudden, I just hear, "Wow, Adam, you're right. These are really sharp." I just cut my hand open. And I was like, "What? What did you do?" And it's like, "Well, I have a wiffle ball game, and this knife looked really good for making the wiffle ball a little more aerodynamic. So I was cutting the ball, and it slipped and sliced across his knuckle." His mother's a nurse, and I guarantee you that was probably the dumbest injury she's ever had to deal with. Her own child cutting a ball with a knife billed as sharper than Henkel's knives.
I really wish I had a response to this, minus the stupid look on my face, because that is one of the dumbest ways to injure yourself, especially for wiffle ball. As much as I love wiffle ball, I'm not going to doctor a wiffle ball because it's already doctored as it is.
It is. It's got
Come
slits
on.
in it. What are you cutting it for? That's our show for the day. It was a little more interesting and funny than even I thought it was going to be when Millz said he had a rant to give. I thought it was going to be a standing ovation, not a, "Ooh, burn," but it's still fun.
No, it was a burn rant, not a,
Yeah, it was an incredible burn rant. And I guess we'll sign off with, let's put Millz in the commissioner's chair.